Good evening, everyone. Today we have Dr. Atish Chattopadhyay, Director of Jagdish Seth School of Management, formerly known as IFIM Business School. So Dr. Atish is a well-known name in the field of Indian business education. He previously held a leadership position in the top institution across the country, like of SP Jain Institute of Management and Research, IMT Ghaziabad, MICA Ahmedabad. So under his leadership, these schools initiated path-breaking innovations, winning global accolades, including finding places on AACSB Innovation That Inspired list. Also coming towards from the teaching point of view, as a professor of marketing, Dr. Atish has established his name and published in leading journals and consulted with the top MNCs across the Asia Pacific and Latin American region. At IFIM, or formerly known as IFIM JEXOM, he has pioneered a study in association with industry and curated a graduate management curriculum that caters to the need of industry to groom leaders. He has also spoken on several national and international forums, and his views are regularly published in media. So I would like to welcome Sir on our platform. So thank you, Sir, for taking time with us. So we are beginning with our first question for the interview. So, Sir, after seeing your resume and the positions which you held, so what's your style of a leadership? So, like, how you describe your philosophy of leadership?
First of all, thank you, Muragendra, and it is always a pleasure because for the audience, Muragendra has also been my student when I was director at IMT Ghaziabad. So it's fantastic to interact with a student, and he knows it best. To my mind, the first thing is this, that I think approachability in terms of, I am first a teacher and then anything else. And with respect to whether it is faculty, they are all my colleagues, and students actually are the ones who keep us young, make us think, like the youngsters. And hence, I would say that there is no as such leadership style. Okay, but what I believe in is that leadership needs to be distributed, which means that each individual in an institution is a leader. Whether it is the faculty, whether it is a student, whether it is a staff. And just to give you an example, okay, if you remember, even when you were a student, we started one program called the organization-based projects, which means there were student groups who were actually owning up all the institutional activities.
Yes, sir.
Correct. And that is something which I actually believe in, including the budget. If you remember, including the budget also had to be created by the student groups.
Yes, sir.
And there were faculty mentor, and those faculty would be the activity owners who would actually own up the budget, the activities and the plans. So as a director or quote unquote a leader, I have got very limited work to do. Correct. Ultimately, who knows what is best for the institution? It is the students. Correct.
Yes, sir.
And if the students say this is what we want to do, and this is what our strategic goals are, these are our developmental goals, these are the tasks that we want to undertake, this will be our KPIs, this is how you would like to be measured. For this, we require this budget. And then you create your own budget, you create your own goals, which is then a student and faculty together every, I think, alternate week there is to be meeting. The same thing happens here at JEXOM. Okay. We have got a unique initiative called Effective Execution. So it is like the students owning up all the activities under the mentorship of the faculty, and then you run the institution. So I don't have much of a role to play. The only role that I have is to make sure that the leadership is distributed and each one owns the institution, each individual, whether it is a student, whether it is a faculty, whether it is a staff. If everybody owns it and the activities are owned by individuals and the leadership is distributed, I think it becomes independent of who is the leader. And then the institution gains its own momentum. I think that is what I have seen in across institutions. And I think in Jackson also I'm enjoying that journey. So the leadership philosophy that I believe in terms of making leadership more distributed.
Okay. So, sir, coming towards our second question. So, being the director of Jexom, how you strategize about the key programs and the plans for the marketing and administration of your school?
See, first of all, it is the mission alignment. Okay. Our mission is to groom holistic, socially responsible, continuously employable professionals. Correct. And we are very clear that we are a professional school, which means we will undertake those activities which are relevant to practice. Correct. And hence, whatever programs we do, whatever activities we do, must add value to two key constituencies. Number one, it should be relevant to practice, which means the industry should benefit. Number two, the teaching learning experience should find value in that activity. Okay, if these two happens, then what the action is justified. Okay, this is the first criteria. Second, we believe whatever we do should meet three basic criteria. It should be unique, number one. Number two, it should be world class. And number three, it should be sustainable. So our programs are well differentiated. Each of the program have got a, its own, I would say, unique positioning. We want to make sure that each of these programs are of global standards and remain sustainable over a period of time. So if you look at from an aspirant perspective, we have the 2-year PGDM program where a student can get in, an aspirant can get in, and somebody who wants to really look at, a program where there are enough options. One can specialize in whichever way I want to, whether I want to be in marketing, finance, analytics, HR, digital business, entrepreneurship. So all the options are open for me. That is first. Number two is this, that where I want to be a professional who has got a very strong global exposure. So a 2-year PGDM program, there is a very interesting initiative, which is a super specialization, international super specialization, where our students actually go to our partner institutions. Okay. Like, Darden School of Business in the University of Virginia, ESCP London, or for example, Macom's at Texas at Austin, for for courses in very new age areas like fintech, martech, blockchain, big data, programs like that. So, and I have the option where I want to go, what I want to do. Okay. So that's the program which is essentially for those who want to try out in the initial phase, then decide what should be the major, what should be the super specialization, and what should be the career path. Okay, which is more like you get in like that. The second program is our specialized master's program. Correct. The specialized master's program is if somebody has decided that I want to be in marketing, I want to be in finance, I want to be in analytics, then I get into that program. So, for example, when I was a student, I was very certain that I will be doing marketing. So I will probably get into a PGDM program with major in marketing from the very beginning. And there my options are very different. I can do a specialization in sales and service, in martech, in communication design, like that. And I start as a specialist, not as a generalist. So that is where the specialized master's program comes. which means if it is a PGDM finance program, I can get into capital markets, I can get into banking, I can get into fintech, I can become a market technician like that. Correct. So my role is defined. Almost even before I join, I know I'm getting into a program with a particular role in my mind. Correct. That is the specialized master's program, which is PGDM marketing, PGDM finance, and PGDM management, which is very different from a PGDM or an MBA program. Because there I can mix and match. I can be marketing, finance. I want to be more like a generalist. Okay. Third program is a very interesting program, which is in international business for if those who want to pursue a career in either US or Europe or in Australia. Okay. So for US, our partnership is with State University of New York. For Europe, our partnership is with Rennes School of Business. And for Australia, the partnership is with Sydney Business School at University of Wollongong. So I do 1 year in JAXOM, or formerly IFM Business School, and then I go to spend 1 year in US or Europe or in Australia. That based on my choice. So I want a career, I want to settle in Australia, this may be the right option. I want to settle in US, the SUNY program may be the right option. So all the programs are different for different aspirant groups, very clear. But if you look at it, each of the programs are of global standards, are very unique, and has made its own mark. We are the first institution from India where the PGDM marketing and PGDM finance got ranked in the specialized masters ranking of QS world ranking. So our PGDM marketing, PGDM finance have now made into the top 100 of the QS world rankings 2019, which itself shows that the programs are now of global standards, which has been our aspiration.
So that's something good about the college to know. So sir, coming towards our next question. So any insight into how your college could be more welcoming to students of different races or economic background?
See, first of all, we get students from across the country. That is number one. Number two, as you know, why we made this change to Jagdish Sheth School of Management. See, let us understand one thing. To the global audience, Indian schools are not very well known. Even the top schools are not very well known.
Agreed.
So if an institution has got global ambition, then there has to be a name which is easily recognized by the global audience.
Okay.
And who better than Professor Jagdish Sheth, who is very well known academic and scholar.
Yes.
Is a Padma Bhushan from India, the highest award for a foreign national from India, and is very well known, whether it is in US, whether in Europe, or whether it is in Singapore. He was also instrumental in advising the Singapore government. Okay. So that's why this name change. And the idea was also to make sure that we start playing in the global arena. So when we looked at our peer set, we decided our peer set will be Asian Institute of Management, Singapore Management University, and the ESCP Europes of the world. That's how we benchmarked ourselves. And that is the reason why we opened our second campus in Mumbai. Okay. And we will be very shortly probably opening one more campus in Singapore. Okay. In maybe in next 1 to 2 years time. Okay. The reason is that we want, as an institution, want to be more inclusive. So as far as nationality or regions are concerned, we are very inclusive. We have participants from across the country, and Bangalore, is a hub of
Yes, exactly.
not just education, but the Silicon Valley attracting participants and professionals from across the globe. And the second part is that how do you make it inclusive for those who may not be economically from the very well-off families. Okay. There we have got a scholarship scheme based on our own admission test. Okay. Is our own aptitude test. Okay. And there is a scholarship up to 100%.
Oh, nice.
Okay. So I think we offer very good scholarship, and no student is denied of education because of economic issues, and the fact that if you are meritorious, the scholarship is good enough to fund the education. So both in terms of regional diversity as well as economic diversity, I think both the things are taken care of. Nobody is denied of education because of want of funding, because there are liberal scholarships which are available. I think the test for scholarship is in the end of February.
Okay, so that information.
Test.
Yes.
Okay.
So this information would be very valuable for future prospect for JEXOM. So sir, coming towards
end February, there is a test, and that test determines the extent of scholarship. So we don't go by CAT, XAT, or GMAT numbers for scholarship.
Okay.
Our own test determines the extent of scholarship.
Okay. Okay.
Last year we get scholarship to the tune of more than 1 CR plus.
Oh. Okay, so sir, coming towards our next question. So what do you think would be a top priority of JEXOM for the next 10 years?
See, priority wise, it is to make a real impact both in the industry and in the society. Okay, we would like to be assessed more by the impact we make in the life of the student, on practice, and on society. Okay, that's what our priority would be, which means that there are certain things that we are doing which are unique. For example, today we are talking about COVID and we are talking about wellness. Almost 5 years back, we started a program, personality enhancement program, where there were required courses in the area of wellness and fitness, which means the students have the option of either yoga or gym or Zumba or any sports, because wellness and fitness is an important part. And we talk about holistic development. Similarly, our programs like we do a run for Save the Girl Child. Okay. And we have adopted 5 villages under the Unnat Bharat Abhiyan. Okay. Where during this pandemic time, we not only address the issue of food and nutrition, but also we created a digital classroom, okay, which was the initiative of our students, okay, in collaboration with CRAI, and the entire funding was generated by the students. On the other hand, if you look at it, we are in the hub of the entrepreneurship in the Southeast Asia, not just India, if you are in Bangalore. And our second campus is in Mumbai, which is the commercial capital. Correct. So the areas where we want to make an impact is in the platform-based economy and the entrepreneurship. I think we will be measured by the impact that we make on the entrepreneurial ecosystem, or particularly the areas of social entrepreneurship. Number 2, in the area of analytics, and number 3, in the area of service excellence. These are the 3 areas. And I'm happy to share that none other than Professor Parasuraman, the guru of service marketing himself, is mentoring the Center for Service Excellence. Professor Vitala Rao, who is a guru of analytics and a very eminent professor of, Cornell University at the Johnson School of Business, is now mentoring the Center for Analytics. And our, the strategy and social initiatives will also be mentored by somebody very well known. It is in the final stage of our discussion. Once it happens, I will take the name. But these are the 3 areas where we really want to make an impact. And the good part is that students are involved in the whole process of the research projects that the centers undertake and the kind of solutions that they propose to the companies who are sponsoring these research projects. I think this is where we would like to make an impact. The pedagogy of teaching learning, and in 3 areas: area of service, area of new age companies or the entrepreneurial ecosystem, and number 3, the social ecosystem. These are the 3 areas. Over the next couple of years, we would like an impact which will be of global standards.
Okay. So, sir, coming towards our next question, what do you see as a JAXOM greatest strength?
Greatest strength of JAXOM?
Yes.
I think the biggest strength is that we don't have any baggage.
Sir, baggage
we are a 25 years institution which has remained entrepreneurial. Okay. So the greatest thing, the strength is our entrepreneurial ability. So, a lot of institutions have their legacy problems. We don't have any legacy issue. Correct. Hence, we can always be the disruptor, okay, and can be the change leader, so to say. So I think it is almost unthinkable for any institution to rename itself to honor a globally known scholar like Professor Sheth. Now, once we got our QS ranking, which nobody actually thought, okay, let me tell you, probably nobody expected a school like ours to become the 6th school to be accredited by AACSB, to be the first school to figure in the specialized masters ranking of QS. Now, actually, it did happen. A lot of people probably did not believe that we can do it. Okay, we could do it because of our entrepreneurial, orientation. The founder of the school, was an entrepreneur himself, Sri V.V. Parode, who was the founder of the Dalal Street Investment Journal. And then the chairman of the society, okay, Sri Sanjay Parode, okay, the chairman of the sponsoring society, himself is an entrepreneur. He is a BITS Pilani graduate, has been a successful entrepreneur. So the point is, we can think and do an experiment which others cannot think, do, or experiment. That is the biggest advantage. That is number 1, the entrepreneurial orientation of the leadership team. Number 2, a very strong board. We are the first board, probably one of the few boards, where so many internationally acclaimed academics are there sitting in our governing council. Professor Sheth is the chairman of the board. There are members like Professor Parasuraman, okay, who is the guru of service marketing from University of Miami. He is also a pro-chancellor of our Vijay Bhumi University. Dean of ESCP, which is Simon, okay. Then somebody like Ulrich Hummel from Germany, okay. So we have a very strong international board and a diverse board again. People from Europe, US, and of course we have the acclaimed Indian academic in the board. But that board guides us, and it is so active board Nobody would probably believe, but the fact is this: every Saturday, 8 o'clock Indian time, 10:30 a.m. Atlanta time, we have a small group meeting with our chairman, Professor Jagdish Sheth, which means the board is an active board, which is guiding us on an ongoing basis, mentoring us on an ongoing basis. That is our second strength. So entrepreneurial leadership, a very active board chaired by Professor Sheth. And number 3, our very big strength is our faculty. Okay. And you know some of them. You were just now, before this talk, you were talking about some of the best professors who also taught you are today, with us, whether it is a Hazar S.K. Chaudhary in finance, whether it is a Konlan Sengupta in, analytics, whether it is a Jahar Bakshi in, HR, whether it is a Bal Palekar in marketing, Asit Parma in marketing, whether it is your Sandeep Sharma in marketing. So there is a huge group of faculty who are drawn from the best of the schools in the country. The names I took were all from the institute where you were, earlier, where you graduated, but they are drawn from across. So you will be finding some of the finest faculty of the country. As a matter of fact, I can tell you, if you compare the marketing faculty or the analytic faculty or the finance faculty of JAGSOM, and you take the names of our full-time faculty and compare it with any other, even the top 3 schools, I think we would still look better. I did not take Rakesh's name. No, Rakesh Menderita is also there. Then Praveen Mishra, my colleague in MICA, is also here. So if you take the full list of our faculty and some of the amazing faculty like Anand Narasimham, Raghavan Srinivasans of the world, and I think that's something our greatest strength, the faculty, and a very empowered student. See, students are all good. I always said that there is no difference between a 100 percentiler and an 80 percentiler. Probably the 80 percentiler played music instead of only trying to crack the cat.
True.
Correct.
Yes, sir.
And important thing is, how do we empower the students? Are they equal stakeholders and own the institution? I think in our course, in our institution, it is the students who own the institution, along with the faculty, just the model I talked about earlier. So empower students, amazing faculty. Each of the faculty are better than me, I know that. And some of the brightest younger faculty, if I take names like, Dr. Sangeeta Gupta, Kamalika Chakravarti, or Parvati, Navodita Mishra, Sasmita. See, these are all drawn from the best of institutions of the country. And so you have got the energy of the young and the experience of the, I would say, the older group, who are very established. So that kind of a, system where the student, the faculty, the leadership, means the founders and the board, they are all working in tandem along with the recruiting partners, because there are the recruiting partners and the industry is our partner. All on the same platform, trying to live a dream, to make a school, an institution of global standards. I think that is the greatest strength of our institution. And the fact that the leadership is distributed, each activity is owned by the respective activity owners.
So, sir, coming towards our next question. So, do you have any suggestion for your current youth and an aspiring student who is looking as a management, as a career, or JAGSOM as their institute, upcoming institute?
So the first thing is this, that let us be little practical. And there are two things. One is, first thing I would say, live your dream and your passion in your younger age, when you are young. And I still have a dream. I always have, I always believe in living that dream. Okay. So I would say that live your dream and be passionate about what you want to do and follow your passion. That is number one. Number two is the fact that, as I said, that our Indian system considers, somebody who has got 90 percentile in class 12 as somebody who has not got 100 percentile. Because, some colleges, even the cutoff is 100 percentage.
Yes.
So there will be a group of students who will feel that, okay, I should have met there, but I am not being able to make it. Okay, let me be very frank and transparent that some of your aspirant group who comes to your portal may not get the 100 percentile and hence may not get into an institution of their choice, which is more out of peer pressure than actual reality.
Agree, sir.
Let me tell you.
Yes.
Okay. So my suggestion is, there is no reason to feel that you cannot pursue your passion or your dream just because you played music or you played badminton or you played cricket and did not crack that 100 percentile and bell the cat. Okay. JAGSOM is the right place to pursue your passion and yet be as successful as a professional as the 100 percentiler. Okay. So that will be my, suggestion, that follow your passion, follow your dream, okay, and look at that as to what will make that happen. And I can tell you, each student in our institution, gets that opportunity to pursue their dream because our curriculum is completely bespoke.
Yes.
You curate your own curriculum. You do do the whole program at your own pace, the way you want to. That's the biggest advantage. And at the same time, you get access to some of the finest faculty, not just faculty, some of the finest human beings, and also some of the best institutions of your choice globally. I think that's something which is very, very important when we see the institution as a platform.
That's something good to hear. So, sir, coming towards our last question, how are the placements and the internship number for JAGSOM Business School?
See, I got, before this particular, interaction started, I said I need half an hour time.
Yes, sir.
I don't know whether I should state this here because we were actually drafting a PR. Okay. But actually we closed our placements for today, for the class of, graduating class of May 2021. Okay. So it's a great pleasure to see that in what is perceived to be a tough year, we could achieve this by December 24th, so to say. Okay. And the batch is going to graduate only in May. Okay. So the point is, it's very interesting. Why it happened, I will say more about that, because most often than not, people get worried about the numbers. Okay, I don't want to look at the numbers. I would like to look at the process. Okay. So as I said, that we are a professional school which want to impact practice and to impart those knowledge and skills which are relevant to practice. And you talked about in my introduction that we did survey to understand the needs of Industry 4.0. So we actually did a survey in association with National Human Resources Development Network to find out the needs of the industry. That we did in 2018-19. Okay. Now, we identified the needs of the industry, and what came out was that the industry today requires what we call the T-shaped professionals, which means you have your social and the essential skills and the fundamental knowledge and skills of management like marketing, finance, operations, analytics, etc. But more importantly, the professionals that the industry requires today must have a deep knowledge of their area of specialization. Now, deep knowledge means it is not just the knowledge of marketing or finance, but within marketing, where you would like to focus. So it may be marketing technology, or it may be communication design, or in finance, it may be in, as a market technician, or as a, fintech specialist, like that. Now, what we did was, and we were talking about our international partnerships, we introduced the international super specializations, which means you do a, major in marketing, but you do also a super specialization in marketing technology, which is in association with our partner school like, Darden School of Business at University of Virginia, or if it is fintech, it is the ESCP London, or if it is blockchain and big data, it is with MACOMS at Austin. Now, how the process works. So you have been a student, you know that first 2 terms you do the fundamental courses of management, and then you start getting into your, areas of interest like your marketing, finance, etc.
Yes.
That is the time you start working on your own understanding of the industry and the sector. Like suppose I am interested in, say, banking, I will start doing a project in the area of banking. Then as we enter the super specialization with our, partner school in term 5, what we do is a very simple thing. We have our partner companies, so we approach them for a request for problem. And this is happening in term 4, correct? Now what happens is the companies, and Bangalore is a good place to be in, and Bombay also is a good place to be in. And we are right in the heart of Electronic City, correct? So I am very happy that we got problems from the industry. Now, the interesting thing is a group starts working on that problem. And that group is not just a student group, but a company executive is also part of the group, because it is ultimately the company's problem, who is mentored by 2 faculty, one locally from Jackson and one our partner school faculty. So if there is a marketing technology project, there may be somebody like Kalyan Sengupta as one mentor and somebody like Raj Venkatesan in Darden as the second mentor. Now imagine the benefit for the company, correct? And then the student along with the company executive, because if there are 5 students working, there is one company executive, travel to our partner school. So all 5 of them plus the company executive, that group travels there, okay? Work with the international faculty also there, see what is the context there, and come up with a solution to the problem. Now, good part is at the end of the 5th term, you have proposed this solution. And what we have done is our internship is in the end of the program. So we don't have a summer internship. Our internship starts from December 15, correct? So what has happened is the companies, what will do, this was their problem, our students only have solved, correct? And they were part of the problem solving, the company executive. Okay. This is the reason actually we could finish the placement this year. Okay. So what happened is that the companies would already say, nah, you take a PPO and start working with us.
True, sir. Exactly.
Correct. So our approach to placement is engagement driven and not a mailer driven process. You would be surprised that our students started working, and what we did was our 6th term, we scheduled our sessions in the evening from 5:30. Okay, because this is a residential program, and the morning time we allowed our students to work on the company projects. And so from October onwards, our students are not only attending classes but completely working with the companies. Basically what happens is that instead of getting their whole starting salary from May when they graduate, they have started getting the salary from December itself.
Yes, correct.
If I right now, I was looking at the figures, just I told you that my average salary is around 11 lakhs.
Yes.
Today in December. But imagine when it comes to June, this guy has completed 6 months. So at the time of graduation, this 11 will become probably another 20% jump.
Yes.
It will be maybe 13.5 to 14. Okay. I am not bothered because all the time people keep on saying that these are my, numbers in terms of the average salary, highest salary and all that. I would look at the process. This is a shift from a mailer-driven approach that everybody buying a suit, which happens in most of the institutions at the very beginning, and running for placement. Here it is individualized placement, no tension at all. Okay, that is the best part. And last point that I would like to add is that, I faced a situation like this in one of my previous institutions, which today is, during that tenure only, it became one of the top 5 institutions in the country. Okay. So a lot of people did not believe that the placement numbers were so good. So with IIM Ahmedabad, that time the placement chair was Saral Mukherjee at IIM Ahmedabad, Professor Saral Mukherjee. Okay. We came up with the Indian placement reporting standards, which is how the placement figure should be reported. And we decided, along with IIM Ahmedabad, to get the placement numbers audited. And we started declaring the audited numbers. Because it is the forum today, it would be appropriate to say this here itself, that when I quote these figures, okay, we are going to announce not only our placement numbers, but we will this year get our placement figures audited as per the Indian placement reporting standards. Because Mragendra, people, even if I say this, people will still have a pinch of salt and say, Jackson mein 11 lakh ka average salary.
True, sir. Exactly. There will be some doubt.
This is a question what people will ask.
Yes,
okay?
Yes, sir.
This was the same question which was asked to me when I was in a previous institution which today is in the top 5. Okay.
Yes.
I don't want to name because you named the 4 institutions, so everybody knows it. You will find that from till 2018, all their placement numbers are available in the IPRS site of IIM Ahmedabad. The same thing I'm going to do over here. The placement will be audited as per the IPRS and will be uploaded in the site of IIM. I think that is something which will bring about more transparency and credibility both. I think this is what we are going to do. It's not just announcing that we are placed, but we will actually come up with the audited figures as and when it happens as per the IPRS. So I think this is how the placement happened, and it so happened it is coincidental that you are conducting this interaction, almost like I closed that meeting on the placement and this interview is scheduled. So you are the first one to know this.
So
but we will come up with the formal communication.
Sure, sir. So that information would be very helpful from the student point of view when they are looking for a college. So because most of the colleges are not having their numbers audited, so there is a bit of a doubt.
We will be having an audited numbers, and yes, I can tell you just now I'm having all the numbers in front of me. Highest salary is 16 lakhs, average salary is around 11 lakhs, and it's very, very heartening to see the whole figures. I just now look at it. Analytics reports around 10.7 lakhs average. Finance reports around 10.8 average. Marketing is very high, 11 plus. Okay. HR is also around 11. So like that. So it's a very interesting thing to see. And but we will give you the audited and signed press release to you. But yes,
Sure,
the average
sir.
is around 11 lakhs. It seems without taking into consideration the variable component. It has been
Okay.
so well calculated that I can see that it's 10,94,640 rupees 0.857. So 85% they have calculated and given it. But nevertheless, we will come up with a formal communication.
Sure, sir.
But this very satisfying to see that this kind of a thing has happened in this kind of a difficult
Situation. Thank you.
difficult year, so to say. If I look at it from the perspective of, in the perspective of most of the B schools, if I have to look at it, so this is something which is absolutely fantastic, so to say. Now I will give you some quick figures as to what we did during the COVID time. Okay.
Okay.
And this is the figures which is end of October, because we were invited by AACSB in the Asia Pacific Conference to present how we manage so many things. So we had conducted 2,743 online classes. We had conducted around 200 online examinations, which is remote proctored. We conducted even our super specialization virtually. We had around 60 guest lectures. We had 3 governing body meetings, 32 faculty meetings, 24 alumni meetings. Okay, meetings with international partners, 23. Knowledge webinars, 153. We conducted our convocation on time online with the Honorable Speaker of Lok Sabha, Sri Om Birla, as the chief guest. Okay, we onboarded our batch on time. Okay, and we made our debut to the global ranking, and we did 292 internship projects, and we also could complete, if I look at today's data, we could complete our placements much ahead of any other school. So I think that's the agility, and we were the first school to go online. Okay, we are the first school to go offline. So 4th January onwards, we are completely on campus.
Okay.
So we are no more online, it's off campus, from the campus from 4th January. Right now we are hybrid, 4th January onwards, fully on campus.
So that's something good to hear. So sir, coming towards our conclusion. So it was a quite insightful interaction. Thank you, sir, for taking a time out of your schedule and interacting with College Dunia. It was an enriching conversation and will definitely help the students looking for a career in the field of management. So I would like to thank you once again, sir, for taking time out for interacting with us.
Thank you, Murugendra. It was great pleasure interacting with you. I think, you have proved to be very lucky for us. Okay. Oh. Thank you so much. And all the best to all the aspirants. All the best to you. And always good to see somebody who has been your student doing so well. So all the very best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.